been waiting so long. I'm here to answer your calls. I know that I shouldn't have had you waiting at all. I've been so busy, but I've been thinking about what I wanna do with you. I know them other guys, they've been talking about the way I do what I do. They heard I was good, they wanna see if it's true. They know you're the one I wanna give it to. I can see you want me to. Now it's me and you. Do you want to sing with me? Nice. It's me and you. Thank
Y'all are hating in the chat. I was muted because Jesus did not want y'all to hear me get dragging every one of y'all for hating on this beautiful voice. Mariah Carey, who? Whitney Houston, who? Let me run that back again with me on the screen, because y'all are not gonna judge this voice.
You've been waiting so long. I'm here to answer your calls. I know that I shouldn't have had you waiting at all. I've been so busy, but I've been thinking about what I wanna do with you. I know them other guys, they've been talking about the way I do what I do. They heard I was good, they wanna see if it's true. They know you're the one I wanna give it to. I can see you want me to. Now it's me and you. Do you want to sing with me? Nice.
Look, so I have to talk about how this came about. I was like, Diddy was in the news for some foolishness. I was like, oh, what's up with Cassie? Let me go, let me go check out Cassie, because I don't think Cassie got enough credit for what she contributed to music. And and then I went back to listen, and I was like, oh. I was like, got it. This makes sense now. Never mind, she got way too much credit. But in all fairness, lovely young lady. I think she's older than me. I don't know. Lovely woman, I guess. I don't know. But she didn't do anything wrong to me. Really do like her music, actually. When I was a child, I guess. Do I know any official girl? Me and you. Oh, long way to go. She does a high note in. Right. And she did Step Up. Is it you? Is it me? Is it me? Is it you? Is it you? She does a thing for what's that thing called? Is it Step Up? Is it Step Up? I don't know. She does a soundtrack where she does a note of sorts. Murder Magic Trick, welcome, welcome, welcome to the membership. All right. All right, let's get into it. Today's a serious day, actually. So let me actually be serious about this. So we are doing the thing where we talk about what we're thankful for. Today we're going to kind of change it up a little. LB is behind the scene. I'm going to add her, and she's going to explain some of what we are doing for Thanksgiving and what we're going to be doing on the channel for Thanksgiving. So LB, I'm going to add you to the stream now. Heyo. You're muted.
Yes.
I like the getup. You better come through.
Thank you. So this is not in the script that we prepared, but I just want to say that in the in the spirit of like the whole what are you thankful for, I think that Themis and all the mods, we're thankful for you guys, for being here, for making this community what it is. And so we're gonna have a gobble gobble giveaway.
Yay!
But we are. So Themis and Thoth, the mods wanted me to let you know that they said greetings and happy holidays. We're going to be doing a holiday charity this year, and it's going to provide a small allotment for, or like a relief for a few of the fruitcakes. Please provide the information below. So we're going to put out a flyer that's going to have the information that you'll need for this. But we want to make the holidays a little bit better for someone who might otherwise like not have the best holiday, or like need a little bit something to, you know, bring the spirit. So what you're going to do is you're going to email, it's going to be themissthoth.events@gmail.com. And you're going to introduce yourself. You'll introduce your family. You'll explain how Themis and Thoth Thanksgiving giveaway would contribute to your family. Include the most relevant use of the potential endowment. And we want to get to know you guys a little bit. We want to understand what your situation is. We want to understand a little bit about your family. Like, we want to feel like we know you guys a little bit. So feel free to include any significant personal achievements or awards, so we could get a sense of like who you are, what you're working towards, what you've accomplished, and what the giveaway would mean to you. Let's see. So if you're so gracious, we would also like to have a picture of your family. And all your information will be protected. All of us mods are under an NDA, so your information will be protected with us, and then also with Themis. And I believe right now Themis is the one that's reviewing the letters. I'm sure he will notify you if anyone else is involved in that.
Yeah, and the email, just for confirmation, the email is right there. So if you guys we're coming up to the holidays, and if you guys think I might need some help financially, just email this with all the information that LB just put forward, and I will be reviewing some of them, and we will decide who wins based on a game show of sorts. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say thank you to the mods for preparing that. And the reason that I'm so posy is that I didn't know a word that was on our script.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Also, I want to say, like, there's like if you need it, like, we're here. Like, we want to support. We want you guys to feel like community, because we're trying to build a real community here. And there's no shame in it. Yeah.
And your information will be kept confidential.
100%.
Yeah. So, like, reach out, use the email below, themissthoth.events@gmail.com. Reach out, and I'm excited for this. So hopefully this becomes a yearly thing. Hopefully it moves just beyond Thanksgiving to Christmas to school, the new school year or whatever. I just want us to be feeling that we are part of a community, and we are here for each other, and we're giving back to people who might need it. And when those people no longer need it, they will also be giving back to people who need it, and we'll pass it forward in that way. So I'm thankful for the mods for coming up with this, and I look forward. Please check the community wall. I will be updating it so that you guys will have more information. So you can also email us to figure out if you have any questions. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, LB. You look lovely, by the way.
Thank you. Just got my hair did. No.
This is my society. All right. So we're going to start on a journey of mess in a moment. So thank you, LB. Thank you all. I hope this turns out well. There is no donation or anything like that. I've talked to the moderators about this already. We we are all sort of blessed, so we can give back. So it's okay. There's no donation. All you have to do is show up and play the games when we announce next week Friday. I know the mods are mad at me for that, but it is what it is. Um, so, do you have anything else before we
I'm like,
start the
wait,
actual show?
why are we mad at you?
Oh, good. You didn't hear it. Great. No,
I'm gonna have to watch the replay.
yeah.
Okay.
Have a good one. You can stay up if you want, or in
Well,
the background.
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to. I could go in the background.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, let's get the show started. Welcome, everyone. This is about to be a mess. I didn't put it, let me announce this before. I didn't put this on here because I kind of wanted a specific group. We are going to talk about O'Shea Duke Jackson. We are. But that's not what this video is primarily about. A lot of the first part of this video is going to be about the election, the gubernatorial election that took place in Georgia. And the fact that so many people are quote unquote celebrating online is troubling to me. And I am about to put forward, I told you all last week that I wrote this kind of Black agenda that I'm not going to do anything but publish with, and hopefully people will rip it apart or develop it or make their own. There is a part of it concerning Black men that I think it's time to put forward, because I don't know, I think this is going to be helpful. But I think the conversation online needs to be elevated, and it needs to be elevated quickly. I don't think we have time to waste. And so I am going to give you the thing that you should be fighting for. I am going to give you some of the things that should be a part of the agenda. So when someone say, hey, Black man, what do you want? What do you want politically? That you have something to say, because at this point, it feels like all we are doing is talking about what we don't like, and we are not actually deeply invested in pushing for things that we want. And after you figure out what you want, then we can figure out who is the best group, the best place to get it, because this is getting ridiculous now. I'm embarrassed. The world is embarrassed. Like, I'm tired of being embarrassed. So let's make some correction. Uppity is not here, and I wanted to do my welcome to her. And now I can't do it to Sober Bobo because whatever. Hey Jay, I got your email. I'm about to respond to your email. The links, I haven't watched them yet. So welcome everyone. I wish I could just go through and welcome everyone, but I can't. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start the video. All right. So how do we? One of the absolute worst things I think you can be is someone who sits on the sideline and do not actually engage in any meaningful work, and then criticize the people who are actually engaging in work, right? Now, there is a phrase for this, right? Atechophobia is the fear of failure, right? Now, there is a narcissistic usage of it where it's not a fear of failure, but rather a fear that you are wrong, or that you are always wanting to be right. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, pathologize all you want. I'm not about to do it today. I'm talking about those people who sit on the sideline, and while they're on the sideline, they're watching other people try to do something. And the part of it that is annoying is that if the people who are trying to do well actually succeed, in the doing of something well, everyone in the community benefits, right? But the people on the sideline are either yelling at them, telling them not to do it or that they're not good enough. This is a projection of their own failure, right? Now, you watch someone attempt to do something, right? To attain some level of power, to achieve some level of success for some kind of change, right? You're willing to do that. But instead of allowing that person to do it, and if they fail, you're like, you go to them and you say, hey, I see you try. I didn't try myself, but I'm proud of you for even trying, right? Instead of doing that, you shame those people who are attempting. The truth is, if you never try, you never fail, but you also never succeed, right? Those people who succeed, they had to have tried. And you know what happened on the way to their success? They fail, and they fail some more until they're successful. And even after they're successful, they might still fail later. I am saying this now, and I'm prefacing everything that I'm saying by pointing out how horrendous it is for the people who would stand to benefit the most to be the ones to drag people down, talk poorly about those who are trying their best, even if they're not doing that amazingly, right? They're trying, and you have the audacity to be dragging them, to curse them, to lie about them, and then when they fail, ultimately, because that's what you've been wanting to happen, you laugh at them and you chastise them for attempting. At least they tried, right? So I'm not making that any more specific than it needs to be, because I think that can apply generally and specifically to individuals in their own life. So that out of the way, let's get to Stacey Abrams. How it's hard to really think. I've made many videos about Stacey Abrams, by the way. All of them weren't good. When she was trying to become the VP, I was annoyed at the way she went about it. When she ran for governor the first time, I didn't really care. I don't think it was great or bad or anything. It was just normal, right? But what we've known to happen, she developed into a very good strategist. What that means is she's very good at planning election, and she's very good at motivating people to get out there and vote. A specific group, particularly Black women, right? Now, when she started again in this gubernatorial race, part of my issue was, if you are attempting to court Black men, specifically Black men, you are going to have to be very specific about that, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm the expert and I know about Black men, but I do know you don't start by saying, hey, if we fail, it's Black men's fault, right? Last time I checked, Georgia was majority white. Last time I checked, to win Georgia, you do need a coalition of people, right? So when you already start off by saying you will go, if you lose, it's Black men's fault because they don't show up. It is true that Black men don't show up to the polls. Like, I got excited when I saw Black men online talking about politics and how they are going to either vote or not vote for a candidate. There was no depth, admittedly, to the conversation. Very little depth, if any. There was none. But I was encouraged because I thought, all right, these people, we are now getting politically activated. This is a good thing. Until a young lady, and I'm going to play this, a young lady asked the panel, hey, what do you guys want? And if you guys don't remember, I'm going to play this. They were talking about Stacey Abrams. They're in Georgia, so this is very directly applicable. They asked, what do you want? In the state of Georgia, what do you want? What is it that you want? I can't make this up. So instead of me talking, let's go back to that live stream where they asked what they wanted, and let's hear what these men had to say. Dispute that, you can. I'm not about to dispute it. The funny thing is, I think they actually believe they're dragging everyone and not themselves. Like, watching this is like watching a bunch of people just rip each other apart. Like, they're just ripping. Like, when you boil this conversation down, they are saying they are the problem. Now, the foreigners over here are saying they are the problem, the FDA, but I don't think that's right. I don't think to just blame African Americans is right, because I think that's a global problem, and we are all going to be collectively to be blamed for the. This is kind of remedial. Y'all really thought Trump had 500 billion with a B. Political astuteness in this video, you have to feel it on a whole nother level. Because they're about to, one of them is going to say they would have voted for Trump. So, period.
PD was like, hold the vote. You know, we're going to put the vote for hostage. And then I think like a month before the election, he switches to, well, if we don't vote for the Democrats, it's going to be a civil race war. And let's vote for them first and then push a black agenda. Just weak. They came. So what was all this dancing and holding the vote? I think he got whipped, or I think there were some higher up liberals who forced him to switch his tune.
Yeah, listen, guys, all I know is people keep bringing up Donald Trump. Listen, I live in Atlanta. Donald Trump came to Atlanta, right? No script, no nothing. Said, listen, I got $500 billion. What y'all want to do? Black folks said, then listen, Joe Biden went on to Breakfast Club. You know, Joe Biden was half asleep during the whole interview. Half asleep, Sleepy Joe. He was half asleep during the whole interview. Then Charlemagne asked him a question. He woke up, leaned into the camera, and said, listen, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Then went back to sleep. I mean,
so y'all really thought Trump, if that's a policy that you want to implement, maybe you want to talk about education again. If education is for reform, look, I mean, there's a part of it that is really sad, and I'm gonna say that I do give grace for this. I give. All right, so so I get it. So the argument here is that black men need to vote for Trump so that black women would lose authority. So. Gotcha. So they're depending on the system to take away black women's power. Got it. Yeah, this don't make no sense. yeah. Okay, I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm not trying to be mean. I'm laughing because it's kind of funny. And I'm going to impress upon you guys, hopefully, that even that this conversation is happening is good. I mean, I don't want to say good too strongly, but it is like good, right? Like, black men are talking politics and are trying to come together as a collective to brainstorm ideas about what they should be. Look, that's the best I got. They want weaves, preferably blonde. They want black women aesthetics on their preference, and black women to braid their biracial kids here. How did black women come into power while black men are still in the look? Oh, Finji, by the way, should I say this? Someone activated for their own interests. What group do you know, when they're politically activated, do so on behalf of someone else? You just do, like, why would you not put your interest at the forefront? No, that black men are becoming politically active, I think is important. I think it is good. Now, the next step, well, before you became politically active, a part of the political activation should have been a brainstorming session about what it is that you're going to be advocating for. But never mind that we reverse how things should happen. Get your plan, try to get people to do what you want. You can't get people to do what you want if you don't have a plan. But since we're already here and there is political activation, we've seen it in this panel at least. The problem is you guys don't know what you want. You don't know what you want, and that is a problem. Why do they think our political actions should benefit them? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no group. Like, you can't be, you are saying black men are getting politically active. That is good. Now go and advocate for what we want. Go figure out what we want and go fight for it. Don't be mad that other groups aren't fighting for you. I tell you something, white women, when they became politically activated and they wanted their needs met, they were not fighting on behalf of white men. I promise you that. There's someone in the manosphere, the white manosphere, called white women the usurpers. Because I went there to take power. They said white women became politically activated to take power from white men. I probably should play this video, but I'm not. So this man went on this long rant. I'm pretty sure he's canceled, but he went on this long rant and said, white women, he said he and a 2 if you do not. Sorry. So, not that. So, that was a long, I wanted to cut a lot of it out. But ultimately, reparations was literal. They said reparations are not to be discriminated against and more jobs. And you could tell they just were making things up on the fly because they weren't thinking about what they want. They just knew they didn't want Stacey Abrams. But black men, by and large, who voted, right, voted for Stacey Abrams. So I'm not, the men online, at least as it comes to politics, aren't speaking on behalf of the broader black male collective, because the broader black male, the broader black male collective don't vote. So maybe they're right, actually. Maybe they're right, but that wouldn't be a situation that happened in Georgia this week, right? That would have been something that is a historical fact. Regarding black men being politically activated, but also in the sort of state level elections and even outside of the presidential election, people generally don't engage in voting in the way that they should, right? So I will put that aside for a moment, and let's get back to specifically these men talking online regarding Stacey Abrams, because we actually do need to get into some policy. We do. It is unbecoming. It is absolutely weird and reductive to have a political conversation to like or dislike a candidate without actually investigating that which the candidate is doing, right? Is it a crime to vote for Trump? No, it's not a crime. It's America. It's a free country in terms of who you vote for. It's not a crime to vote for Trump. I'm not telling you not to vote for Trump. I would never vote. Look, I mean, someone said the other day, there was none of Trump's policies that had adverse reaction to black people. And I sat there and I was like, y'all don't look into any of these policies, do you? You just hear things and just repeat it. Because when it comes to education and public education, they wanted, and they actually did very well in gutting the system. Even when it comes to opportunity zone, I am not sure why anyone would look to Trump as a leader. But if that's what, look, I will never tell you not to vote for Trump. I will never tell you not to vote for Trump. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Your politics privately is not my business. Just know what you want and look to the people who are gonna provide it for you and vote that way. I'm not gonna hate you for it. It is what it is. I would never. I would never. Absolutely not. All right. So back to the political agenda, right? Here is the first nugget, right? And I'm going to pull up my Black agenda. This is my gift to the Black men who are in Georgia. I'm not in Georgia, but for Black men who are in Georgia, this is something that I think would be very useful for you to fight against. Now, I graduated school a while ago. This happened in 2018. I called my friends who are attorney in Georgia to make sure that the law has not fundamentally changed in this way. But so if you are asked as a man from Georgia, as some of those men on the panel were, about something that you need change in Georgia, please bring up paternity. Please bring up legitimation, which is different from paternity. So in Georgia, a lot of people don't know this. If you are not married and you have a child, your rights to the child as a man severely diminishes, right? Don't vote for Trump, please. No, I will for you. um, someone who goes around and talks about voter fraud in the way that he did, and attempt to sort of destabilize the democracy to the extent you even believe in democracy. I think it's weird, and I challenge anyone to come up here and like argue this. Don't actually don't. I'm gonna leave Trump alone. Y'all vote for who you want. I'm not gonna get into that. Let me get back to this. All right. So in Georgia, right? If you and a woman have a child, you as a man, if you are not married to the woman, do not have rights to custody, parenting time, or visitation. Now, you can easily get that. So if you're a man in Georgia and you want your children and you want to be with your children, please go and go through the process for legitimation, right? This is super important. I thought that would have been the forefront of men generally talking about their rights in Georgia, but apparently not. So you guys should add to whatever it is that you're adding, right? Put that on there that you want to be in your children's life and you want custody of your children. Now, Themis is trolling big time. I'm not trolling. Wait, why y'all think I'm trolling? I think that's serious. Look. I think there are men. Wait. So I recognize that a lot of people don't want their. I see why y'all think I'm trolling. I see why. Wait. when, when I see, I promise you, the spirit of trolling isn't in me right now. This is actually a part of my Black agenda. All right, let's. Why don't y'all believe me? Y'all are dragging me in this chat. I promise you, as a part of my Black agenda, I do have fathers getting more involved in their children's life and parenting. And part of that, I think, is we need to see a large group of Black men specifically petitioning the legislation to be right, to have their rights as fathers met, right? Like to be able to be in their children's. Y'all need to stop to be in their children's life. I think, yes, we need to drag Themis for this. No, look, these men, if they want to be in their children's lives, should go and petition. The truth is, people are operating in Georgia as if this doesn't exist, right? So people are operating like this doesn't exist. So it doesn't actually affect anyone. But I think for a lot of men who wants to physically be in their children's life, where they are physically unable. Wait, I guess you're not unable. So like legally they're unable. I mean they still can and they're allowed to. But in the case that they're not, I think I ignore the reality. I think men should come together and go change so that they have legal rights to the child. And so that the mom can drop the child off to custody, parenting time, or visitation. Now, I had a conversation, and I'm not going to say with whom, but I had a conversation, and I was being told essentially that this ultimately punishes the man. It only punishes the man if the man wants custody of the child, right? If the If the man wants custody of the child, then yes, it's a punishment. But it is actually a moral judgment on the woman, right? When you have a law, it is my opinion that when you have a law that gives custody to the woman de facto, and if the man chooses to want custody, they can just go file some paper and they also have sort of not just paternal, but legitimation. So this is going to be custody, visitation, and parenting time, right? So as soon as the child is born, the man can sign the paper and everything is good. But de facto and de jure, it just falls into the woman's lap, and you woman now have to take care of the child. You have to be there for the child. Now you can sit there and think, oh my God, but a child is a blessing and a child is a blah and blah blah blah, and children are beautiful, blah blah blah. We know that children reduces your quality of life just generally, right? They suck up resources and they don't give you anything in return until they're like older. And even then, a lot of people live with their parents and you still have to take care of them. But even if you think it's a beautiful thing, you still have to give it a ton of resource, or the child a ton of resources. So it's a punishment for the woman. And if the man feels like he wants visitation, if he feels like he wants custody, he can file and claim that. So he has the option in that in Georgia to be a full-fledged father. Now, the bare minimum is child support. And that's what everyone is going to complain like, oh my God, why do I have to pay child support? Blah, 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 blah. No, that's the bare minimum. So I think men should fight. I will help you. Let's come together, Manosphere, and I will draft the letters for you to send to the legislatures in Georgia. And we are going to fight to get you custody of your children. That's what we're going to do. Because I think if men want their children, they should be able to have their children. So I will fight with you. Themis, what else is on the agenda? Oh, there's more. I mean, we're coming up. We're going to get into the criminal justice element part too. So we didn't see that on the agenda, but that's fine. I didn't call anyone that. All right. Let's go to a comment. Well, should we take a break yet? No, we're in good time. Demus, I'm calling the ancestor. Now black men do what? Look, I am saying they should fight for their children. They're gonna fight. These men are gonna hook or crook. They're going to fight for their children. All right. So that's the first part, right? Let's move into the second part. Sorry, why is my throat? When it comes to Stacey Abrams, let's go to her website for 2 seconds. Thank you, Confidence with Love. So if we go to her website, I hope this is, well, I have to admit that this is one of the most comprehensive agenda that I have seen in recent years, right? When you go through, she breaks down literally every aspect of human life, right? From mobility, economic mobility, to education, to social mobility, house affordability, healthcare, reproductive freedom. Like, she breaks down all of this on her website. And the complaint was, let me get big again. The complaint online was that she wasn't giving Black men anything. Again, they didn't ask for anything specific. They didn't ask for anything specific, but she was giving. Now, I have my issues with Stacey Abrams, right? I do fundamentally have my issues with Stacey Abrams, and I've talked about it before, so I won't bring it up again. I am not public service announcement. This is the first time I'm going to do this. Well, I don't know if it's the first time. I am not about to sit here and coddle Republicans. If you are a Republican in the chat and you have a problem with what I'm saying, you can leave and come back. That's fine. The problem I'm having is the people in the chat who are mad and like saying Republicans aren't bad, Republicans aren't bad. I have dragged the president for the better part of this year, every chance I got. At no point was I going back and forth to make sure that the Democrats in the chat were okay. I am not about to sit here and coddle you and say, oh, but Republicans aren't this. If it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I am not about to do that. So it is fine to leave and come back if you are upset, because I'm not about to sit here and go back and forth with you. I have my own ideology. You have yours. You will be able to come up and fight with me about yours versus mine. That is fine. But I'm not about to sit here and do that. So it's not going to happen. So if you're a Republican, it might be very uncomfortable for you in the next hour. Like it just will. Like the fact that Herschel Walker is out here running and y'all think he is going to be a good. The fact that. No. No, I'm not about to cuddle you. No. Hey, Themis, and happy Veterans Day to all my fellow vets in the chat. Oh my God, thank you. You know, I actually have that on a sticky note to make sure, because I keep forgetting things. On my outline, I have remembered to say happy Veterans Day first, and I did not. So a moment of silence. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, MJ. I'm actually grateful that you put that in the chat. All right. So it is one of the most comprehensive website outlining a platform that I've seen. Now, what are the consequences? Dr. Umar, let me not say all their names. A lot of people, including Dr. Umar, Money is in the chat. Hey, Money, thank you again. So Money helped with the finance workshop. So he just said hello. I can't find the comment. I want to say thank you so much for helping with the thank you so much for helping with the workshop, the seminar. All right. All of these leaders in the Black community came out and they said Stacey Abrams was not giving anything, was not creating a plan for Black people and Black men, and what are they giving to Black men? I will say it was a political misstep, and I'm pretty sure Stacey Abrams' group put this out. To say if they fail, it's because of Black men not showing up, because we already know they weren't going to show up to the polls. But when they did, they overwhelmingly voted for Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams plays a very specific kind of politics, and it does not work in Georgia. That is fundamentally Republican. So someone said Money is good looking. That's why he doesn't come up. Is he good looking though? Period. So when I think about Black people, and then specifically when we're thinking about Georgia and Black people in Georgia, obviously I lived in Georgia for a lot of the time. Not y'all showing Money love. So he's no longer boring. Y'all are the worst. I am familiar with a lot of what happens in Georgia, right? And so one of the things that we have to talk about is criminal justice reform. Now, Governor Kemp might actually be a fan favorite here because of he has taken a tough on crime stance. If you're a Black man living in Georgia, a tough on crime stance is not what you want, because of the arbitrary nature in which police decide to exercise their power, right? And so it's what, on one hand, yes, we want to clean up the community. On the other, you might get swept up in that quote unquote cleaning up of the community. For Black women, hopefully they're not too mad about this, right? Hopefully they're not too mad about a tough on crime. But it doesn't make sense that Black men are not in support of this while Black women are, right? It's a weird thing where like women, and Black men did vote for Stacey Abrams, by the way. I'm talking about the Black men online. It feels like, based on the political positioning that is happening online, where Black women are pointing out every 5.5 hours, the level of abuse, the waking up of Black women, it feels like Black women should be like against Stacey Abrams, at least in terms of criminal justice reform and with a more tough on crime approach to it, right? That's what it feels like. But in reality, Black women are saying we like Stacey Abrams, and Black men too. But online, Black men are overtly against Stacey Abrams, who is advocating for something that would be beneficial to them. Governor Deal, right before Kemp, right? So Governor Deal started rolling back the toughen crime, and they started, for nonviolent drug offense, for example, there was an attempt to put people in rehab and to medicalize as opposed to criminalize drug usage in Georgia, right? Deal was a Republican governor. When Kemp became governor, he pulled all of that back and he really went after crime and he sort of made sure the war on crime was reignited. Now, I'm not sure where Black men stand on the issue on the war on crime and the war on drugs, but we know, as a general matter, the population that gets swept up in that. So to be for it seems very odd to me, but I understand why Black women would be for it. But Black women on the ground aren't for it. They are for Stacey Abrams, who is going to kind of pull that back. So I think that's an interesting, how do I put that? That's an interesting political reality. And it's only interesting because I think there is a bubble online, and the bubble online have us believe that Black women are aware of their social position, right? And I don't think Black women in real life, in everyday life that's not online, are aware of the community and the structure of the community and the chaos, right? So I think that's an interesting thing, right? Now, the part that bothers me the most is healthcare, right? The healthcare issue bothers me to no end. And here's why. Medicaid was prevented, well, there was a lack of expansion of Medicaid in Georgia. And if you hear me say that, you probably think, oh, no one cares about Medicaid, like whatever, right? But when we look at healthcare coverage, right, and I had to search for this, right? So if we're looking at healthcare coverage, the darker shade means there's less coverage, right? Georgia is one of the state with the least coverage, right? And so when we think about healthcare coverage and the total population, we're talking about a state where people don't have a ton of healthcare coverage. Then we go look to this, right? Let me read this. About 70% of Georgia adults in a new survey report they had burdensome healthcare costs in the past year. So what's happening in Georgia, and I think this is important, a lot of the people there are a healthcare emergency away from filing bankruptcy. The expansion of Medicaid in the state of Georgia is necessary not just from a healthcare perspective, but an economic mobility perspective. This underpins the ability of people to actually engage in meaningful work and to be able to take care of themselves if they're sick. Again, you can keep your political opinion to yourself until I open it up. I mean, you don't have to. You can drag me in the chat, actually. You can drag me in the chat. When we are talking about and Stacey Abrams actually has a plan in her, I don't know if she can do it. Like, I'm only talking about theoretically based on what is happening, what she has presented, right? So if I am looking at Governor Kemp, who has prevented the expansion of Medicaid in Georgia, and I'm looking at Stacey Abrams, who is attempting to expand it, and I'm looking at the reality that a lot of people, majority Black people, by the way, I didn't want to say that, but let's just put it in there. Majority of Black people, we are literally a healthcare scare away from going bankrupt. I don't know about you, but that feels like something we should care about. Like, it feels like the conversations we are having, it's just very remedial. And I don't quite understand if you're saying, Stacey Abrams doesn't have anything for Black men. And again, I'm not talking about men in Georgia generally, because Black men in Georgia they didn't show up, but to the extent they showed up, they overwhelmingly vote for Stacey Abrams. I'm talking about the men online who are in Georgia. We're talking about they're not getting anything. What do you want? Give us specific plans about what it is that you want. And please include paternity in there. I don't think a lot of these people actually went and took the extra effort to read the plan, because you can read the plan and critique the plan. I hope Black women would have a lot of critiques for Stacey Abrams' plan. I think it is important that you critique your public officials, right? And people running for governor, whatever they're running for, you should be able to critique them. But to critique them, you have to know what they're running on. And I think it is disingenuous to create a panel where men are on there, or women, but for this one, men are on there talking about how they're not going to vote for Stacey Abrams and she doesn't offer anything. Okay, fine. Have you read anything? Have you read anything? No, you haven't. And if you've read it, how is it different from what you want? Oh, wait, to know how it's different from what you want, you need to know what you want. What do you want? What is it that you want? Because if you are telling me that you would rather vote for the Republican in Georgia, then it seems like you don't want a change in the criminal justice system and you're okay with it. You're telling me that you don't want your children and you're okay with not having rights to your children in Georgia. You're telling me that the healthcare as it is it set up there now where you are literally on the verge of bankruptcy, that you're okay with it. That's what I'm getting, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, politically, that is fine. You can do what it is that you want to do, but make sure it's what you want to do. Don't just jump on a bandwagon because she's a woman and she's Black. You're saying, oh, I'm not going to vote for her. Don't vote for her for legitimate reasons. If you don't like her policies, right? Don't let it be because you don't know her policies and say, well, she's supposed to explain it to me. Yes, sure, she is supposed to explain her policies, but are you watching? Are you reading? Are you comparing and contrasting that which is being offered to you by the Democrats and that which is being offered to you by the Republicans? One of the saddest rhetoric that I've seen come alive politically, and I think Candace Owens was the person who kind of ushered this in, and it is that you should not have this group think. You should not vote for Democrats because you're Black. Get off the Democratic plantation, blah, blah, blah. And all of that, while I agree that you should not vote Democrat because you're Black and Republican, whatever, I think you should vote for your interests. That is it. That is all. But it cannot be reduced to don't vote for this party because you're on the Democratic plantation. If you do, you're not giving us any reason to go elsewhere. I like the idea that Republicans and Democrats should fight for the Black vote. I do. I think it is in this conflict that we get to negotiate better terms, but we have to know that which we want. The terms that we need to set forth have to be understood by us, accepted by us before we can put it forward. It is ridiculous to me that a group of men with such huge platform do not have any agenda. When asked, what do you want? They were like, reparations. Well, girl, you're not going to get it. And that same person in that interview says later, oh, we're not going to get reparations. What do you want? What are some actionable items? How do we move forward? How do we get incremental changes if we can't get it immediately? How? Everyone seems upset politically, but no one is thinking about what it is that they want, and it's very much annoying. In a state where people are on the verge of bankruptcy because of getting ill, that's the problem. That is a problem that needs to be fixed. And I don't care which party fixes it, but it's a problem that needs to be fixed. And we know the party that is preventing access to affordable health care. We know that. Now, if healthcare is not the top of your priority, then period, do what you want to do. But if it is, this is something to consider. Hey, Themis, they want to be guaranteed the big piece of chicken from from the table of every Black family home at dinner, even the ones they've abandoned. I can't. Do they see reparation as the only Black? Yeah. I feel like every time we talk, it's like, oh my God, reparations. And it's like, yes, I am for reparations, by the way. I obviously wouldn't be getting any, but I'm very pro reparations. It's giving, period. Reparations all day. But that cannot be the only answer. Welcome and fading passion. Someone sent another super chat. Oh, here it is. Wake Up Makeup Slay says there's a lot of preventative health measures that need to be taught to Black community. We are highly susceptible to cardiac endocrine. Yes, I'm reading it quickly because I also included a part of this. Preventative measures, and we were talking about food deserts and how to address food scarcity and food insecurities within the community. It's going to take a while before I can publish my thing. It's going to be a while, but I will. Where am I? Issues due to fear, rightly so, and mistrust. Yeah, there's a lack of trust in the government, and that Black people don't trust the government, I don't think is I think it's a reasonable thing. If Black people don't trust the government, I think it is a reasonable thing. I said I'm going to be done with this in the first hour. We have a couple more minutes. When it comes to poverty, right? Should I bring this up? I'm going to bring it up. Because we're already here. So I'm not going to back down now. I'm trying to think if this is going to do more harm than good. It is what it is. I have to do it. It is the truth. So whatever. All right. I don't know if you can see this, but when it comes to poverty rate, Georgia has the 12th highest poverty rate. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, okay, that's the poverty rate, but we don't know. So let's come back. We don't know how much of it is Black, and we don't know how much is white. First of all, Who do you think makes up the most regarding the poverty rate in Georgia? Before I put it on the screen, let me see if you guys know so I don't have to put it on the screen. But please let me know what population you think, as a percentage of the population, makes up the most impoverished in Georgia. Let's see. Y'all are the worst. Why do y'all know this? I mean, obviously we talk about it. So let me put up a poll. Did you? Well, pretty much. Now someone said children. Not, not someone said children. I can't with you. Someone literally said, all right. So I think we are all on the correct path. All right. Should I put this up? All right, so let's look at the poverty rate. I'm going to change this. So in Georgia, so here's Georgia. Can you guys see Georgia? Let me zoom in. This is what Georgia looks like. White, 500,000, black, 600,000. So when we're at 600,000 here, we can look at the actual total population we can look at the total population, and we know that while we don't make up the most in terms of the population, we do in terms of poverty. And then we add incarceration to that. Now, I don't have to ask the question regarding incarceration, but usually the argument about incarceration is that while Black people make up 13% of the population, they make up almost 40% of the prison population. Now in Georgia, Black people, I also have this chart. Let's pull it up. If I broke into your house and stole your stuff, do you think it's reasonable to come to me and ask for it back? That's a conversation of reparation. Look, I've not heard a good argument against reparation. I promise I haven't. I have not heard a good argument against reparation. And I looked for it. I looked for a good argument against reparation. I haven't seen it. Even where we make up less, right, in terms of the population, we are both qualitatively and quantitatively, the minority in Georgia. We make up the majority in the prison system there. I am going back to criminal justice reform. If you don't see the need for criminal justice reform as not a Black person, as a Black man, I think we're wasting our time, because I think Black men online, we have bigger fish to fry. The conversation about women and the conversation about dating, sure, fun, whatever, have it. But at the rate where we're dying at each other's hand, at the rate that we're impoverished, at the rate we're incarcerated, at the rate we're not getting access to education because we either don't want to or can't, at the rate we're literally disintegrating families, I am not sure. Someone says, I don't see it. I am not sure why so much of the conversation is about access to women when there is so much groundwork that needs to be done. And it needs to be done now, because I am seeing people getting politically activated, and I want to renege on my earlier statement that I'm happy. I don't know if it's politically activation anymore or just people just talking. It feels now like people are just talking. Because if you are politically activated, I think it starts with you, your position, your group's position, and then the system, how it relates to you, and what you can get out of it to better your position and help the rest of the world, right? The rest of your group and the rest of the country. So if you're not thinking about politics from the standpoint of how you can give into the system to get out of it something that is at least meaningful, it doesn't make sense that you're even talking about it at all. If you are unwilling to do the reading around Stacey Abrams and what she was promising, then you shouldn't be talking about her at all. Similarly, you shouldn't be talking about Governor Kemp if you don't know what he is doing, has done, and says he's going to do in the future. There is, I know it's hard, I know, but there's some work involved first before you start engaging in these conversations. Because people might be listening. Like, this could become a political active group online that actually have an impact in politics, but it does require that you work. Like, the fact Stacey Abrams did this, and I felt insulted. Let me show you this. I'm not going to watch the video because there's music. So she is speaking to Black men, and she brought, this is 21 Savage, I think that's 21 Savage, and Charlemagne the God. Now, if I were a Black man in Georgia attending this conference, I would be absolutely insulted. I would be. I would be absolutely insulted. And it's not to say anything bad about these men, but I've not seen your political work. You are not my leader. Like, I am not about to sit there and have a discussion about politics, meaningful politics that will affect my life with Charlemagne the God and 21. So I didn't even know 21 was involved in politics. Good on him, though. Like, that's the problem. I think that's the problem. But it also means there's not a lot of respect, right? It's not a lot of respect. I said I would not go over an hour on the political stuff, and I am now over an hour. In any case, let's do your thing, 21. Let's debrief a little bit. We're going to go to a commercial break because there's one thing that I'm very thankful for today. And it is a comment I received on a short that I did. So I posted the comment. So I'm going to show the comment, and then I'm going to show the short that I did, because I am not sure what the comment means in response to the short, but period. So here's the comment, right? Let's read this comment together. This is a break before we get into the thing we are going to get into. What I tapped an hour later, we're going to talk about it. So, without context, I reposted this comment, right? I'm going to give you the context in a moment. I'm going to let you hear what this man is responding to, right? He says, women can't be forced to raise kids they don't want or aren't ready for. So how are you people saying the man has no excuse? I don't know what he's talking about. I'm assuming, if he wants the child and the mother doesn't, he can't force her to keep the child and be a mother. So why is it not okay for men to do that? what they feel is best for themselves as well. All right, so that is the comment. If I am Iron Manning his argument, he's saying men can't tell women to abort the child. And so the fact is, women get to decide if they want to keep the child, and the man doesn't have, let me go back, and the man doesn't have a say in whether or not the woman keep the child. So women can't be forced to raise kids they don't want or aren't ready for. So how are you people saying the man has no excuse? No one is being forced to do anything, right? But let's hear, instead of going back and forth with this man, let's hear what he's responding to. So this is what he's responding to. Now, this is the same man. This is so annoying. These people are frustrating. We cannot keep giving all these people all these excuses because they will use them. It is frustrating to hear the same man talking about how he drops his kids off because he doesn't want to raise the kids, say the reason he can't be in his kid's life is because of the government. The same man that just sat there and talked about how he's going to drop his children off, right? And he's not going to raise his children as a personal decision. He made that choice, not influenced by anyone, is going to come back and talk about how the system caused him not to be in the home. Now, this is the same man. So let's be clear. In the video, we're talking about men blaming the system. This man, instead of saying, oh, we're not blaming the system, we just don't want to take care of our children, he made the comment that, yeah, we should be able to do this. No one said you shouldn't. I actually don't think you should, but no one said you shouldn't. Right? We were talking about the fact that people are saying welfare took them out of the home, government took them out of the home, whatever took them out of the home. Your statement is completely out of place. The video is talking about men blaming everything else for taking them out of the home, unless you're conceding that no one took them out of the home and they decided to leave, and you believe they should have the right to leave because they can't force a woman to have a child. Because of that, then yeah, sure, whatever. But how are you responding to this video, though? Are you agreeing? Are you agreeing? It sounds like you're agreeing to me, because that video literally absolutely does not say anything about who has the right to stay, who shouldn't leave, who shouldn't go, none of that. It says that no one took you out of the home. And you are saying, oh no, we should be able to do this because the woman can do it. Okay, sure, you not should be able to do it. You are doing it. Like we should be able to leave because we can force a woman to be a mother, so you shouldn't be able to force a man to be a father, right? You can force a woman to be a mother, so you shouldn't be able to force a man to be a father. Well, no one can force you to be a father. Literally, no one can force you to be a father. What you mean to say is no one should be able to force you to pay child support. Because the court can force you to pay child support, it cannot force you to be a father. That you're paying child support is not you being a father. Just an FYI, you are not being a father if you're paying child support only. A father does not only pay child support. So no, you are not being forced to be a father. Like he's like, oh, no one can force a mom to be a dad, a mom to be a mom, a woman to be a mom. So no one should be able to force a man to be a father. Absolutely, no one can force you to do that. That's a personal decision. Now, you can be forced to pay child support, but that you're paying child support does not mean you're being a good father. It does mean you're being a father. These men aren't even embarrassed to keep letting Beyonce's internet know how much they dislike their own children. Disgraceful. Yes, I am femme. Yeah, it's like we're talking about what it is that took you out of the home, and you could have came back and say, yeah, we were forced out of the home or we weren't, but arguing that, yes, we should have the option to be a father. Well, you do have the option to be a father, and the woman has the option to be a mother, and the women tend to overwhelmingly choose to be a mother, where you are arguing that you should not have to be a father. You don't have to. Oh, but you don't want to pay. That's what it is. Because the only thing we can force you to do is pay. That is it. So your argument is that you should not have the financial responsibility of paying for a child that you helped sired. Got it. That is degenerate. Oh, it is. Like, you decide to be with someone, you decide not to use you know what, and you want to be able to tell that person, oh, go ahead and have an abortion. No, if that person doesn't want to have an abortion, you've done your part. No, I like the system. Let me rephrase. I don't like the system. I like that aspect of the system. A man should not be able to tell a woman, oh, have an abortion because I don't want the child. And the woman now has to have an abortion or raise the child on her own. No, you're financially obligated because they're going to raise a child on their own. That much is true. They're going to raise a child on their own, but your financial contribution is literally the bare minimum. It is literally the bare minimum. Anywho, let's get into the mess that is O'Shea Duke Jackson. So, everything is moving slowly. I'm going to close out all of these tabs. So if you guys come up here and want me to open something, it won't be open because I have to close all of these tabs for it to work. So I was online today and I started a PowerPoint because I wanted to do an entire breakdown of
see it all the time on TikTok.
Of the Georgia election. Now, there are a couple of things that let me put this in the after show so I can separate this and recalibrate. So apparently this white lady went on Kendra G, and on Kendra G, she said some things that wasn't bad or good. It was just whatever, right? And O'Shea Duke Jackson decided to make a video praising this woman and comparing her to Black women. And I am kind of tired of this notion that people are pro-Black. I get the pull. I get it. I understand. I want to get this right. It is easier to think that we are descendants of great dynasties somewhere in Africa, and we were running through the jungle naked, drinking mango juice, and everything was great. I understand the philosophy behind a lot of, and the history, the made-up history behind a lot of pro-Black philosophy. And it's seductive, right? It's seductive. And the notion that you are going to be amongst people who truly love you and care about you and think the world of you, and because of your skin, you're not going to be sort of marginalized, and you can find communities where people are pro you and you guys are pro each other together. It is seductive. But I have noticed something with the people who claim pro-Black overtly. It is very disingenuous. And I am not sure how O'Shea Duke Jackson can claim to be pro-Black and produce the content that he does, dragging one group of people within Blackness, right? But this was specifically disturbing to me. Now, this is probably why I'm not a feminist here. if I see Black women putting up, there is a double standard, putting up videos of white men praising them or Asian men praising them, whatever, praising them, I look at it and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm gone. Like, I don't care. Like, the need for validation has been weird for me. It is extraordinarily odd for me to see people like seeking validation externally, but it's fine. I don't really care. When I see a Black man do it, it irritates me to no end. Here is why. It's almost like you're looking for a pat on the head. Like you are like, look, see, white women love me. We're in a world where there are different kinds of people. Hopefully, you fall in love and the love is meaningful and you get together and whatever happens, happens, right? But the fact that there is this need to show that white women care about me and white women love me, it's so strange. It's it's like watching a reflection of yourself. Now, O'Shea is not a reflection of me, but watching a reflection of yourself out there just begging to be liked and cared for by other people. It is so sad to me. It might be one of the lowest forms of sort of engagement. It's like you have no pride. So when I hear someone say who is pro-Black say, see, white women love Black men, it's like, mm-hmm. And that matters to you because, like, why are we pronouncing this as a badge of honor? Like, yeah, people like people. Like, it's so insidious and disgusting. But let's get into this video that O'Shea Duke Jackson did. And we're going to talk about some things that he said because I find them hugely, hugely problematic. That he even felt the need to make this video is itself a huge problem for me. But when I go down and we are reading some of the comments, I literally almost threw up. Like, the fact that these men, let me go to one of the comments. Let's go to one of, let's look at one of the comments because I have to before we even get into the video. Let's get into, I think I missed a super chat. I am so sorry. I'm trying to find it. I told you guys I would be better at this, but I can't find it. I see it on my phone. Let me read it from my phone. I Am Femme said, these men aren't even embarrassed to keep letting Beyonce's. Oh, I read this. I think I read this. Thank you, I Am Femme. All right, let's read this comment together. This is about the lady who was there. He says, I noticed several things in this video. She didn't blame all men for what one man did. She did blame all white men, though. We'll get to that. She took accountability for her actions in her past relationships. She said she was being abused by narcissistic men. But okay, she looks like she takes good care of herself. We don't know. I don't know how you know that. There are a lot of people who look healthy physically, but they aren't, but go off. She sounds like she has an education without telling everybody that she does. All right. I don't know how you found that, but period. She understands that she has to lower her. Yeah, she understands that she has to lower her standards to get something that is right for her. These men want people to lower their standards. Got it. No weave, lashes, ton of makeup or nails. Very approachable, well spoken. All right, so let's get into who they really choose. I mean, so let's go and watch this lady and who they really choose. This is the interview.
I want a man who is elevating, who is investing in himself to grow and heal. I only date Black men. There's a reason for that.
Men on social. White women are being more adamant and vocal about only wanting to deal with Black men on social media. You see it all the time on TikTok.
Sorry, I didn't hear it fully. Should I do that? No, because I could literally go on Sinji's channel and play literally any one of the videos. What they're doing on social media is not announcing how much they love Black men. Actually, no, let's not. I'm not doing tit for tat. The fact that you, even if they're like out here saying, oh, Black women, white women are just pronouncing how much they love Black men. Why are you a pro-Black man talking about this? Why? Because you're a liar.
And you even get to see it on YouTube. But what happens when a white woman comes to her?
No, I'm going to do it. So most of the TikTok talks are these women coming out talking about being single mothers, and the stats about 200% more likely to be single mothers when they're with a Black man than when a Black man is with a Black woman, right? So the stats don't actually bear out, and these women on TikTok are actually coming out and saying how horrible it is. So the image of Black men isn't just relegated to the Black community anymore. It has gone actually global. The passport bros, which O'Shea Duke Jackson, let's do it. O'Shea Duke Jackson is a part of, even if he doesn't claim it, right? He talks about, and this is sad, right? He talks about how he knows he's ugly, and so he goes all across the world and he spends money on women and whatever. And I think this is quintessentially what it means to be a quote unquote passport bro, right? It's not like these men are going overseas to get wives, right? Because they're like, these women are more submissive, they're whatever. You would think they would be getting married. But I realize a lot of these men are only talking because the talking is very much obvious. When you say, you sit your foolish... My mouth is moving too quickly. I almost did something wrong there. Do it, Themis. Yeah, I have to be careful. I almost got in trouble. All right, when you sit up on a panel and you are saying you are going to book your flight to go overseas and that you've been traveling internationally with your passport card, you are lying. Your passport card and the fact that you sat up there, not O'Shea, some other men, right? A lot of these men they were talking, they were having this discussion, and I'm just sitting there listening to them. How are you traveling internationally with your passport card? Please let me know that. And the fact that none of the men on the panel, the fact that none of you corrected him about where he can travel with his passport card, for me, it means y'all not traveling. Y'all are not traveling. Y'all are lying. But for the people who are traveling, you're not marrying these women. So even if you're saying they're soft, sweet, submissive, all of that stuff, the fact is, oh, by the way, that just means you cannot travel with your international with your passport cards. Ashley Doom Jackson is delusional. White women are not professing their love for Black men on the level that Black men want people to believe. Stats show that white women prefer white men. No, stats show most people prefer to date within their group, which literally makes sense. But the women who are coming out, if you start wanting to like cherry pick, what you're going to have happen is the floodgate is going to open, and then you're going to see that on these apps, a lot of the women are complaining they get the same Black men coming out of Cynthia G and whoever else says it. is from the reality that a lot of these women are talking about their experiences, and they're not always good. A lot of the times they're bad. And a lot of biracial children are coming out now with identity crisis, talking about how their dad didn't like their blackness, right? And I think it's going to be really fascinating in the next couple of years what actually happens if we don't get our things together. Kendra guess, I only date black men because I was by white men. Black men. White men. No, right. So Gia, this is part of it. This lady actually says the reason she does not date white men is because of a traumatic experience when she was a child. She was odd, right? Or yeah. And she cannot look at white men the same, right? So she's generalizing about a group of men, right? Based on her experience. And so she only dates black men, which, I mean, there are other races of men, but let's just go with that. How do you interpret from that, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and sit yourself up on Beyonce's internet to say that white women are professing their love for black men when this woman very specifically said what she went through has led her to black men? Who, by the way, she's going to point out abused her. She's going to talk about having two children from two different black men who all left. One of them she was married to, and they were narcissistic abusers. Tell me how that paints you in a good light. Please tell me. Tell me, O'Shea, why. Also, like the idea that you're making this video, because what he's doing with this video, he's making it to highlight the fact that black men have a ton of women, white women, who like them. The fact that you are doing this is ridiculous to me. The fact that this is even on your radar is ridiculous to me.
Predominantly black dating show looking for only black men. There's only one way to find out. Let's get into the video.
Hello. Oh my God, this is happening. I'm so excited.
Oh no.
Hey, Brooke, what's your name?
She is too. Oh my God, I'm excited. Ah.
Bree. Bree? Yep.
Bree, where you calling me from, boo?
I'm in Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago.
Bree, Northwest Indiana. How old are you, Bree?
I'm 42.
Oh, you look good for 42. I would have thought much younger.
Thank you.
Do you have kids?
I do. They're 21 and 19.
21 and 19. Same man?
No,
No. Have you ever been married?
I was.
When did you get divorced?
White woman, 2 kids, 2 different daddies. Sounds like Pookie to me.
Was.
When did you get divorced?
2017.
Oh, why'd you guys get divorced?
He was abusive and narcissistic.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm happy you're alive and well.
Me too. Thank you very much.
Bree, when's your birthday?
August 16th. I'm a Leo.
She's a Leo. Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm an executive assistant and project manager for a Chicago nonprofit.
Executive assistant for a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is Bree, Northwest Indiana, 42, a Leo, 2 children, executive assistant for a nonprofit. Her children are 21 and 19. What kind of man you looking for, girl?
I want a man who is elevating, who is investing in himself to grow and heal. I only date black men. There's a reason for that. I'm happy to share if you want to get a little.
I would like.
I want to get into that reason also, but I want to talk about, let's kind of go back to what she's looking for. We can get Brivian to play that back to where she says, I want somebody who's elevating and investing in themselves. Let's go back to that.
Elevating, who is investing in himself.
All right, so you heard that part again. I've never heard a black woman say that on the show.
Nope. See, actually, while he's finishing up, let me search for this video. Because you're not going to sit here and, I mean, I guess you've never heard but we're going to talk about it. Not only have a Black woman said that on her show, they've said it on Kevin Samuel's show, and Kevin Samuels beat them over the head with coming up with an amount. When they said 80,000, he then goes on this long thing about how the median income is this and blah blah blah. They're like, oh, I didn't say it's not like a set in stone. I'm just saying I just want someone who is working on themselves and willing to improve. And they always force these women to pick a number and do something. But since you have never heard a Black woman say it on Kendra G, I will find a Black woman who says it on Kendra G. I'm gonna let you finish, but while I look for this video. I actually didn't know he said that, but whatever.
You're always hearing he gotta look good, he gotta be. Now there's some sisters that say some, decent things, but elevating, investing in himself. Why is that so important? Because a lot of sisters, even though she got baby daddies that's out of wedlock or whatever and divorced, but where do we get wrong as in the Black community? Because if a man is investing in himself, you're going to grow with him. But investing is not sexy. All right? It's not sexy.
I'm sorry. While he's talking, I'm gonna go to Finji's page because she just did a video where she was talking about the differences between men and white women and Black women regarding what they will accept. And I've seen this video before. Let's watch this. I don't like this. And this is the problem I'm having with him being pro-Black, because he's lying.
And you give them an allowance in the meantime? I'm not gonna lie, I do a whole bunch of stupid shit when I'm in love.
Not important at all. I feel like them being in a relationship with me, I could get them to where they need to be. So that money's not a problem.
Right? I will never write it down, but we have to slide. How important is money to you in a relationship?
It's everything. If you don't have any money, then it's just what's the point?
You are
Every single Black woman on that interview said money was not important and that they would help their man elevate. That is a part of the culture. That is a part of the Black culture and Black women's education in the culture. You are lying. You are like, these people go online and say these women want to use them for what money? Let me stop. Whatever. Let's continue. Nope, let's not continue. Let's find this lady. We're going to watch pretty much all of this. This woman on Kendra G, because he said Kendra
Brittany.
G. And I remember her because I thought she was such a lovely woman. Let me play this. This is on Kendra G. So that wasn't on Kendra G. This is on Kendra G.
Child, no love life.
Well, what's going on? You want me to hang up on you and go to somebody else?
No. Because honey, I done lost about 70 pounds and I wanna tell the world about it.
You lost 70 pounds since you were on the show?
Yes.
Okay, what's your name again?
Brittany.
Brittany from where?
From Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 40.
You're what?
40.
40. What you do for a living?
I am a barber. I own a barber shop, a men's grooming salon.
Okay. You own a barber shop. You have any kids?
I do too. Beautiful kids. A girl, 12, and a son that is 10.
Okay. Same man?
Yes.
Okay. What you want?
Okay.
What you say?
I came on back in the day when I was in Brazil and I lost my husband, and I was sharing the story about his passing, and it was a long time ago. So
was it early
last
in
year.
the show? I don't remember that story.
It was probably actually last year, exactly around the same time. So that's funny that I actually was able to get on this year, and my people are in Brazil currently, and I am not. So that's interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry that your husband passed away.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is Brittany, Lynchburg, Virginia, 40, is a barber, owns her own shop. 2 kids. When's your birthday or zodiac sign?
January 25th.
Is that Aquarius?
Yes, it is.
All right, baby girl. So well, first of all, you said you lost 70 pounds?
Yes, yes.
I went to the Kendra camp early. I want to see this body.
Oh, God. Okay.
And you have beautiful skin.
Thank you so much. Okay, hold on. Avery, help me out.
How'd you lose 70 pounds?
I had weight loss surgery, and I am committed to my diet and committed to working out.
Okay, that's what's up. Look at you. Congratulations. Yes. Okay, boo. All right, honey. I love it. So what kind of man you looking for, baby girl?
I'm looking for a, I'm going to start with the soft skills. Loves the Lord, is a hard worker, kind, compassionate, willing to learn, and loves children, not selfish, ambitious, and resilient. I don't need nobody, and open or is currently working on their mental health.
Okay. What's some deal breakers?
The person who does not take care of their children, smoker, lazy, definitely lazy, and is atheist and has poor hygiene.
Atheist and has poor hygiene?
Yes. Now, I mean, don't have to be a combination, but atheist, poor hygiene.
All right. What's the age range you would date?
I'm trying to figure that out. I would say my age, or 38 to maybe 50-ish.
38 to 50.
Ish.
Ish?
Yeah, 50-ish, maybe a little bit beyond. If you're youthful, we can dig it. Youthful and healthy, we can dig it.
Okay. This is Brittany, Lynchburg, Virginia, 40, is a barber, 2 kids. All right, does he have to look a certain way?
No. I just had to be physically attracted to them.
All right. Does he have to be a VA?
I am a very, very busy woman. I would prefer somewhere within either North Carolina, Virginia, DC, Maryland, something like that. I would prefer kind of in the circumference of my Virginia area.
Okay. Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
I don't want to put a number on it, but able to take care of themselves and so help me as well when the time comes, potential marriage. Yeah.
Okay. We're into the Kendra cam. So what was your last relationship?
It was my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share what happened?
Well, we were college sweethearts and we met in 2001.
Trust me when I say she says nothing off the walls or anything else. I just wanted to end it there. So you're going to sit there as a quote unquote pro-black man. I can go find this, right? But you are going to sit there as a pro-black man and you're going to go find a white woman, which there's nothing wrong with finding the white woman and say, hey, this white woman did this. That's great, right? But to then say black women don't do that and black women come on there and have all these expectations, it's really annoying to me. And we don't know these people. They might actually be horrible people. They might be great people, right? But for you to have missed this and cherry pick to generalize, I find that hugely problematic. Because remember what O'Shea said, that there was black women come on there and they just want all these things and men have to be this. Like they say men have to be cute and physically attractive. That woman didn't say it. And I know O'Shea might take issue with women wanting men who are physically attractive. Look, O'Shea said it about himself. O'Shea said he's ugly and he spend money. I didn't say it. He said, look, I think O'Shea gave me the permission to say it. Like, I couldn't be mad if someone calls me a fruitcake anymore because I said.
Hard work, but it's a character trait that takes the family forward, the relationship forward as the man progresses, because you gotta always stay investing in yourself to grow. But let's get into why she don't want to date white men.
Right there. Tell me the reason why you would not date anyone of your race.
When I was 4, this is going to get a little personal, but when I was 4, I was molested by a white man, and it completely altered my ability to see them in a romantic way. So
wow.
I just gravitated towards black men, and I've just kind of stuck with that my whole life.
Wow. You know, I know African American.
Does that sound like someone professing their love for you or someone who has deep trauma? She said she goes to therapy, right? But if you're at therapy and you still can see white men as a collective, as attractive, and you are white, you might actually need more therapy, right? Like, I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but you might actually need more therapy. So like, the fact that O'Shea is interpreting this as a woman professing love as opposed to a woman who's gone through some really deep trauma. I am confused. I'm confused. Like, I would feel some kind of, well, whatever.
Woman that went through that. She was molested by a black man, and now she's the opposite. She only ever dated white men because she was molested by a black man. So did you go through therapy for all of that?
Oh yeah. So I actually, I lived a 37-year-long cycle of violence. It finally ended when I divorced my husband in 2017. But I went through a lot of seriously traumatic events my entire life. It started very young and just continued.
By the way, even in, let's take O'Shea Duke Jackson's version. This is an example of how white women come out and say they just love black men and they don't like white men. Let's ignore, well, we can't. In her statement about being with black men, she's talking about narcissism and abuse. You don't, as a pro-black man, I'm assuming you wouldn't want the person to be speaking about you and your image and them loving you to also be the one saying that their involvement with you has been abusive, right? Like, obviously there might be some deep psychological issue here because one, what happened to her, unfortunately, led her to only view black men as sexual. The only view a group of men as sexual to be black men. Then her engagement with the men she views as sexual has resulted in a ton of abuse on her side and 2 children that she's now a single mother to, both. I added the last part, girl. I don't know if she's a single mother. I don't know. Kendra G is not asking the right question. Kendra G is not asking the right question. I don't know why I added that she's a single mother because she never said that. I mean, they're not there.
Continued. I didn't understand like intuition, so I couldn't like listen to my gut. I wasn't able to recognize red flags, so I often got confused with like nervous excitement with like warning signs for my body, like no, you shouldn't do that. And then I didn't trust myself to make good decisions, and so it actually started on a spiritual journey in 2020, and I did a guided meditation that put me face to face with my cycle and when it began. Once I recognized that, I was able to go back and start to undo the brokenness that was there.
So here's something you don't really hear about in the show, and I'm sad for her for what she's been through, but look at the accountability. Kept making the wrong choices and stuff and kept repeating the cycle.
Got it. So you want women to take accountability for them being abused. You want, if I get this straight, you want women to take accountability for them being abused, because a woman can, and they do point out that they were with a man who is abusive, but she said she didn't trust her gut feeling. I'm not sure what you're taking from that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree. The fact that she's on Kendra G, and this is no shade to Kendra G and her show. I watch it because I find it entertaining. But if you're actually up there trying to find love and not actually promote a business, I don't believe you. I don't.
Cycle, but look at where she's at, and she understands what she wants. I don't have any problem with that. You know what I mean? I think that's great. Let's continue.
So I've been healing for the last 2.5 years, and it's been absolutely magical.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, going back to your children, are they both by African American men?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make it clear you date only African American men. So you tell me what you desire. What's some deal breakers?
Insecurity. You have to like really be a confident person and know like who you are and trust me, right, as a person to just be what you want me to be and be what I present as.
Wait, y'all are lying. 92% of you said you have liked the video. However, I'm looking at the likes and they're like not actually there. So I'm gonna remove the poll. Please, please, please remember to like the video. I'm gonna end the poll. I had something to say about this, but I completely forgot. Them is the cherry picking is wild. No, it is wild. It is absolutely wild to me that this woman is talking about trauma. This woman is talking about being abused. Like, I would be thinking some weird kind of Stockholm syndrome. But O'Shea Duke Jackson, that's not a diagnosis, by the way. O'Shea Duke Jackson is seeing this as women, white women, professing love for Black men. I don't know why you would do that. I don't even know why a pro-Black man would be making this video.
So no abusers. If you have any history of harming women, men, children, I'm just not interested. I want somebody who is willing to evolve and continue to elevate who they are and their relationship with themselves, with the universe, with God. I want somebody who's stable and somebody who's consistent in how they communicate.
He's talking and he's looking up at the camera, and I'm kind of confused because I don't hear anything different than what Black women say they're looking for. So it's very weird to me that he's presenting this as Black women, this is how you need to be.
I can be a little needy, full disclosure. So I want somebody who's going to be able to like show up consistently for me.
Okay. Does he have to be in Northwest Indiana?
No.
Okay. What's the age range you would do? You're 42.
I like 32 to like 45.
So you go 10 years younger?
Yeah, because I have a lot of energy and I need somebody who can keep up.
Okay. Could he have kids?
He can have kids. I prefer them to be like over 11 or 12, just
Okay.
because my kids are grown.
Okay. Now you mentioned he got to be a Black man child. Does he have to look any certain way?
I have a type.
What's
but
your
I'm
type,
not.
Bree?
I probably need to get away from my type. I love a bald bearded man. Like, whew, that's like my kryptonite. But if he has locks, that's totally cool. I love locks too. Just be your authentic self. I'm just not into big fellas.
Okay, now it's a big fellas. Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
No, as long as he can take care of himself and he's got his own stuff.
Okay.
O'Shea creeping into her DMs.
All right, Bree, we gotta do the Kendrick can.
Like I said, I'm noticing what she's looking for is more character issues, more things that, and to be fair, I've heard some Black women talk about that on Kendra G show, but she's went into.
So you lied initially when you said you've never heard a Black woman do it. So you lied initially. You heard it. You heard it. Because I know I heard it. And the other lady was going into more detail. Actually, her standards seem to be higher than the other lady, which is also a problem. Because she had very specific requirements about beard. And then she said she would accept locks. And she said she doesn't want anyone who is too big, right? So even her, she had more standards. And look, don't let these people shame you for your standards. Have your standards, raise your standards. Like, ain't nobody about to listen to O'Shea Duke Jackson because he can't meet anyone's standards physically.
Much detail about what she's really trying to go after and get. Whereas when I hear most women here, it's he can't be short, and it's all of this, and he got to make this kind of money. But what if he's not a good person? What if he has a history of doing other things? You're not even looking at, if he can communicate. And she said, I'm needy. I'm a needy person. I need somebody who is able to show up for me consistently. So this is the reason why somebody who knows what they want, even if they're a single mom, they have a better chance of getting it because of, what they're looking for is not more about material things. Of course, if you're a person and you can take care of yourself, that's great. But look at the character things she's looking for. I think these things are great. Make sure you guys stop, hit the bell, subscribe to the to the channel if you're liking this game. Let's continue.
To the Kendra Cam.
That O'Shea is online saying that what Black women's standards essentially are too high is ridiculous to me. I would actually agree that if Black women looked to white women and acted like white women in terms of standards for men, I feel like O'Shea and Black men wouldn't actually like the results, because it's very crazy to me that O'Shea is like, the whole idea of struggle, love, ride or die, that was all put on Black women. Like the starter wife phenomena comes out of Black women like helping Black men to achieve their goal, and then the man disappears with someone else. So I am very much concerned that the rhetoric being pushed forward here is somehow that Black women's standards are higher than other groups of women. Like, I can get, Sweetie is not even Black, right? But if we're looking at hip hop culture and the women on Instagram who are like the most vocal about get that bag, wait, if not even them, like Cynthia G actually pointed this out in her video yesterday, I think, where she said even Nicki Minaj, who was rapping about rich men and rich this and rich that, she also married down. Like this idea, but even to accept some of this, where we're saying, okay, there are a select group of Black women who are vocal about it, they're not the majority. And we know that statistically. And even if they were, it literally would not make any sense if they only dated Black men to want men who have like financial means. We don't generally have that level of financial. All right, girl.
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, she got a little.
I quote whoever I take anything from. I also quote Dr. Umar. I quote for Harriet. Anyone that I'm using something from them, I make the reference to it. It's called citation. You might not know of it, but that's what it is. So, Sir SL, the fact that you're just sitting here typing, going off in the chat is ridiculous to me. But period. Thank you for your view.
Your hoodie is kind of hard to tell if there's a shape under there.
Yeah. Bree, when was your last relationship?
It ended in January 2020.
January 2020. Okay. You don't got to answer this question, but I'm going to ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
A few weeks ago.
Is that person an option?
Yes, but there's some things to pause. You know, he's got smaller kids, like much smaller, and I'm just not sure that that's a ride I want to go on.
Okay. Why do you think you're single, Bree?
I'm actually single by choice. I know people say that a lot, but it's true. I'll share this quick story with you. When I ended my relationship with my last ex, it was because I loved him, and it was just, he couldn't make me happy. There was no like animosity between us. And so I had read to him this beautiful note that I wrote, just kind of explaining like, thank you for what you did for me, but our time is up. And he hugged me and he told me, he's like, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, for what? And he's like, because for the first time in your life, you're choosing yourself. And it was the permission that I needed, whether I knew it or not, to really invest in myself. And so I've just chosen to stay single this time, these last few years, so I can figure out who I am. And
Hello, wake up, makeup slay. How are you?
I'm good, Themis. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. What say you?
I don't even know what to say.
Girl, we can go back to politics. Anything, because I'm over Ocean. I don't want to hear anymore.
Oh, hold on, my volume's messed up. Let me try again. Hold on.
You're fine. Hey, LB.
Hey.
What say you? You have words?
I really want to go on Kendra's show, but my future can't afford it.
Wait, why?
Because I can't permanently have myself acting like a fool on that big of a platform.
But can't you just go there and pretend to be like completely normal? If you go, I'll watch. I will watch.
Like, I kind of want to go on there and just like piss people off.
No.
She's gonna be like, "What's your
No.
type?"
No.
Well, I prefer women and men of any color.
They're gonna drag you in the
They're gonna be like,
comments.
"So you like everybody?"
Period.
Just kidding.
Don't go on. I don't advise you to go on, but if you go on, let me know.
I don't advise myself either. We'll see.
Yes, cheekbones. Period.
Famous, I want to see you go on so you can raise the standards of what
God,
they're
no.
asking
I would
for.
never. I would never do something like that.
Oh, they foolish. I don't understand it.
Wait, well, do you guys want to talk about this video or like politics?
I want to talk about this lady, but I want to be respectful.
No, then who they really choose. So what's this thing called? Have you heard about the Savior? Wait, is this the after show?
You did put it on the after show.
Let's do another after show then. One more, because I actually want to ask about the Savior Community Black Man thing. Wait. Not Team is saying don't do it, but being ready for the mess at the period. I stay ready.
Stay ready.
All right. Let's step aside. All right. So you guys know the Save Yourself Black Man thing.
Honestly, I've just seen it in passing. I don't really understand the concept.
Oh.
Like the hashtag whenever, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, never mind. Well, we'll get some other panelists to talk about that specific thing.
I need an explanation.
I could explain it. So Savior, as far as I understand, Save Yourself Black Man is this idea that the Black community is destroyed and Black men need to not waste their time staying in America. It's part of the passport bros. They need to leave and find other women so they can find their happiness in peace.
Oh, so like if the plane's crashing, swim away and
save yourself.
And that woman.
Yeah.
All right.
So on that, sorry. I'm leaving and coming back. Oh yeah, that's fine. Wake up, make up, slave. So they're saying save your community, Black. They're saying save yourself, Black man. But this lady named Courtney, she seems fine. I don't know anything about her. She came up with the hashtag, or she and another person came up with the hashtag, save your community, Black man. And Black men were apparently upset online because they were like, why would you tell us to save your community? Why wouldn't you tell Black women to save the community? But I feel like you guys need to know and be sort of not involved, but like around the conversation to understand it, because all I want to do is drag. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then I'm going to go to Melinda. I'm pretty sure Melinda is here for politics. Melinda.
Hello there.
Hey.
Actually, I'll only go on that just a little bit because I really don't want to do that because
I
see how they say don't ever talk about religion or politics. Anyway, okay. So I guess I'll just start with, let's take Black women and in the Black community and kind of how our standards, this will go into politics, our standards are kind of, they're put in a box, kind of tolerate, put up with, not kind of reach a whole lot, even though Black women still persevere and they do it. I think that's maybe just internal to Black women. But I remember being younger and at church, and when it was time to vote, all the Democrat politician would come to our church, and if a Republican happened to, he was treated badly. The deacons were kind of, really rude and stuff. I think that as a people, we've kind of been pushed in one direction.
I'm interrupting for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
Were Republicans coming to the churches?
Well, a couple did, but let me tell you, if we've never, they wouldn't. I think if they didn't court Black people, because it was kind of clear that Black people were on one path. So I can kind of see where you may not put a lot of energy in it, because it was always we're going to vote this straight ticket. But I kind of understand. I just think that I hate that the figures like a Candace Owens, who I think is ridiculous. I think she really is. Candace kind of switched from heavy liberal to this, and I guess I kind of see how she did it for money. But something she says may make sense, but I think that she's just it's hollow. Kanye is an embarrassment. Herschel Walker, an embarrassment. I guess what I was saying is that when Black people talk about, let's say if they supported Trump, if they did, look at some policies, what they always have to do to other Black people is say like, well, I don't like him, but this. It's like we always have to make sure we stay kind of right in line. I kind of think that we are a very controlled people, and we're known as low information voters, and I think that's pretty sad. But to me, when I see a people voting something just not even, I guess thinking about it, we've been told that this is racism, that's racism, or who's racist. And so we go by a lot of feelings and just kind of what we've done, like, I guess, what's the word? I forgot the word I'm looking for, like almost a tradition. But I kind of wanted to jump off that. But it's just, I also wanted to go, I've been a registered nurse for 25 years. And also what I noticed, what kind of party was pushing during this time, that the hospitals were just stocked. Everyone was on ventilators and stuff. I was there. I was out of work actually for a few months because census wasn't high. So I'm just telling you, I want Black people to be aware that agendas are pushed. We didn't see what in the hospitals, what y'all saw on the news. Okay, all this, we'll stay home and masking up and stuff. Actually, I have lung problems because of those masks. It's not natural to be covering your face like that. They don't protect you. They don't protect you. People are still getting sick, even wearing these masks. You're inhaling, rebreathing CO2. I'm sick from this. So I was holding off on taking the shot, but I eventually had to get a job. And so I want you to, just be aware that you're being pushed sometimes, and for whatever reason, for money, companies made a whole lot of money and people still get sick. So all of a sudden, no one's talking about it. We don't even wear masks. But if they said it again, if they told you there's an uptick again, we'd be back doing it. It's people are kind of figuring out, okay, if they'll go for this, what next? And we'll push it a little harder. We'll push more until, what will you say no to? So, so that was what I wanted to say, about that. And let's go to, I guess, what was the last time we were talking about O'Shea?
Yeah, no, before you do,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I was on a monologue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. I didn't. I stopped once because I just want clarity, but I wanted you to feel heard, and I don't want you to feel like your voice is being silenced here. That being said, I do agree that we are, in terms of the information level we have as a voting bloc, it's very low. I think, in my experience of Black people in America, I would argue that Black people are ideologically more aligned with the Republican and conservative party, like as a general matter, in my experience. So I'm projecting my experience out, right? In terms of homophobia, in terms of the trans rights generally, in terms of um, religion, right? I think a lot of Black people socially lean conservative. However, when it comes to voting, um, when you say we are voting as a bloc, it feels like you're trying to say like we're on the Democratic plantation. Um, and I don't see the issue because our power as a group, any political group, comes from our voting, um, together, right? If we can destroy the group and segment it, then we lose political power. So when you say that, what what do you mean? I'm not getting into the COVID thing. I'm not doing that.
I actually used to be one of those people saying that. I would use those words and stuff. The plantation. Um, I yes, we are voting this way, but what are the basics, or what are the issues or policies that you're voting for? That's what I guess that's what scares me. I guess what I'm saying is let me go back to when you said that Black people are very conservative. I'm starting to say that's not true. I think that Black people are saying that they're, I guess, transphobic, and they're homophobic. I don't know that's true. I see that Black people are heavily in churches, yet we do have this out of wedlock, this issue. I think that Black people use religion as.
I mean, we're not. I don't feel
Okay, go ahead. I think I got
comfortable.
it.
I don't feel comfortable
Can you
debating
ask
whether or
again?
not. You can hear me?
I can.
Hello? Yeah,
I
I don't feel
can hear you.
I don't feel comfortable debating whether or not Black community is homophobic. Like I don't. I've made my statement on
Okay,
that. I think
right. Sure.
the point at which you're killing someone for being something, I'm just gonna go ahead and label it homophobia. But when it
How about this? I'm sorry. Okay,
go ahead.
I'm listening. I was saying, I believe. Okay, I believe you on that. And when you said with homophobia, what I'm saying that Black people are very secretive, and they say one thing, but they live another. I guess that's kind of what I meant. They will be homophobic. Hypocrisy. Then that's what I meant. I'm sorry to say that I didn't think they were. I think they're hypocrites. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of a little bit, but yes.
Yeah. Sure.
So I don't understand. Your proposition is you're saying you agree that the Republican is not courting Black people.
Yes, because if you've shown for decade after decade after decade that you are squarely.
Wait, do not justify why yet. So they're not currently courting Black people. How do
I think that the last administration was.
All right, but if they're not courting Black people. Is it the solution? Because this is how I feel about Candace Owens too. It's saying they're not courting us, but why would they? We need to give them something to court. So go vote for them, get them in, and then they'll see that you're voting for them, and then they'll court you. That's not how this.
Absolutely not. That's not what I said. That's not what I think.
All right, so they're not currently courting us. What should we be doing?
I think that just us I guess, talking about it. And I like I said, I hate that the voices are who they are, but there are other voices who are not in alignment with the Candace Owens and stuff. I just think that whenever someone when you see on television, someone decides to go against the grain and they're getting you back and saying you need to be this, or I remember another person's life was threatened because they were talking about, maybe we
Hello?
about maybe some
Melinda,
historical things. Pardon?
You dropped off just now and came back.
Okay. I'm just saying that if you're the only people that people are making sure that you vote a certain thing, maybe you should be concerned. That's what I mean. I think about even with the 3 strikes or that crime bill and who authored it. It's like, I guess, how do we forget that? And then the last administration was like,
no. See, this is also something that the right does, and I argue with the right and the left, and it's this is frustrating to me. Are you against tough on crime?
No, I'm not against being tough on crime.
Then it feels disingenuous to weaponize, like, as I think.
But I think that this was, when I see the amount of people who look like us in prison and how it was almost a roundup.
So are you saying that we should remove, which they do, but you are not in favor of 3 strikes? So if someone commits a crime multiple times, then the judge should have discretion and be able to let them go.
The number is concerning me. Maybe if we put a number on it, but I'm just saying the kinds of.
Yeah, see, this is why. Like, I don't disagree with you. I think it is horrendous, but
yes,
it's very difficult to conceive of that coming from I don't know if you're Republican, but from a conservative position, because you cannot weaponize actions by Democrats that Republicans would have done, right? Like the Reagan administration, the Nixon, like, we are talking about this as if the drug bill wasn't before and we were okay with it, right? Like, I don't like the fact that we are, and I'm not comparing you to Candace Owens. So let me simplify it by using Candace Owens. So Candace Owens will, on one hand, advocate for something, but then criticize it for it disproportionately affecting Black people when a liberal group does it. Then the conservative Candace Owens will praise Trump for his criminal justice reforms attempt, but will be upset with the left for attempting to engage in criminal justice reform in the same way. This was a very liberal agenda that got through when it came to criminal justice reform and allowing people, preventing recidivism under Trump, right? And so it's when I don't mind conservatives or liberals attacking each other and fighting and discussing, but you don't get to weaponize ideas that are conservatives implemented by liberals unless you are opposed to the idea. And it doesn't feel like you're opposed to the idea. So it's really difficult to then say, oh, okay, yeah, Biden was bad for the 1995 crime bill. I'm going to agree, but as someone who's going to agree, I'm going to ask, why are you upset about it? Because that's something you would advocate for.
I'm not advocating for it.
No, I know, but it's something you would advocate for. Like, you're not going to say, oh, I don't like 3 strikes. I think, based on my first set of questions, you would be okay with mandatory locking people up when...
No, that's the opposite of what I'm okay with.
Wait, so you
that's why I said even just a number like 3, it depends on the person, it depends on circumstance, I think.
Yeah.
And the crime.
Yeah, that's what the 3 strike rule did.
I'm talking about especially drug crimes.
I think you guys are saying the same thing, but misunderstanding.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's fine. It's just, I don't mind. I do like conversations where we are like say doing this kind of political back and forth, but what I
Yes.
don't want is for it to be where we weaponize that which we would like to make a point to win, right? Like you can accept that, okay, what Biden did was a very conservative move. Don't use that against him unless
I'm not sure if that was a conservative move, though. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, no,
It goes right
no, no,
along
no.
with Democrats. That's what I'm saying.
Oh
It's not
no,
conservative.
everyone voted for it. It was it was both the left and the right agreed.
But that's
The
what I don't know if
Democrats.
that was a conservative move, though. That's all. But the left and right agreed, though. So
Wait, who do you wait? Do you?
to me, I guess
wait,
I'm looking at the parties,
no,
the
no, 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 no.
foundations. Go
The
ahead.
toughen crime approach was definitely a Republican. Democrats adopted it too later,
Okay.
but it was definitely the Republican approach to winning politically.
Okay.
Republicans brand themselves as a tough on crime party.
Okay. And Joe Biden adopted that and was the person who put it into motion and put it into law.
Well, I mean, he didn't put it into law because he wasn't the president. But yes, he
Okay,
drafted it, and everyone agreed it had to go through the House, the Senate, and then the president signed it.
Okay. So he actually did more with enforcement.
No, he did more with writing it.
That's okay. So even drafting it up. Okay, and then the Clinton administration is the one who put it into action. Is that how it went?
Huh?
The Clinton administration.
Yeah,
okay, I see. That's when it went in. Okay, well, but thank you for that. Thank you for correcting me on a lot of things that I probably have used and weaponized, I guess. But I still see a people in a high percentage voting the same thing just because they think that someone else is racist and not looking at, we do get very emotional triggered about feelings and what we think someone thinks of us. But to me, if someone tells you the truth, what does it matter? If someone says, you know what, your schools are an issue, I think that it talked about we take a retirement out sooner and putting some things into place about that. And just kind of at least having you maybe just wake up a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like what can be wrong with that? But someone saying you ain't black if you don't vote this, it's and I look at who stands out and pushes it. It is always kind of the entertainers. When Cardi B being a person to ask questions and I guess on behalf of Black people. I don't know. I don't know. At some point we ought to be insulted, but again, I think it goes back to even how, Black women are kind of being, told what to put up with, what to tolerate. This is what you do. This is the first time I ever really stood up, even just to have an opinion. This differs from a lot of Black people. So I guess I'm proud of myself with that because it really can be. I was demodded on the platform just because of, some opinions that people were holding differently than mine. So this is an issue with us though. And this is we're doing this for a reason, even if it's not about the policies. We can break down stuff and weaponize it, but if you're going in one direction for this long, how do we account for it? It's showing me this is something about us, that we're easily led, that we are easily told what to do, and the scare tactics are used and they work on us. That's all I'm saying. And I will say, don't even vote for either one. If you, whatever, independent, do something different, but just at least think about what you have been doing. What you have been doing. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I do think that's a good message. Think about what we're doing, and don't just vote because everyone says do this. Look at what is being presented and your own interests. So I think that's the message we can hopefully all get behind.
Okay.
Thank you, Melinda.
Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate you for being brave enough to come up here. Welcome, Jackie D. Everyone has a minute. There is a thunderstorm happening and everything just went blank. So if y'all are talking and everything just shuts down, period. Wake up, sheeples. Black Americans are not a monolith, and stop with the anti-Black talking points that are leading off the cliff. I'm not sure who that was, but yeah. Why are you talking so brave again? All right, everyone has a minute. Let's go to Helena. Oh wait, sorry, Helena, then me, not me.
Hi everyone, happy Friday.
Welcome, Bianca.
I didn't understand that lady's earlier point, but her last point I totally agree with, and I can get behind that. I hate living in an echo chamber, and I feel like the Black community do have that aspect. It's like if you're not like getting down with what everyone is thinking and believing and feeling, it's like you're outcasted, kind of. So I hate that because like I felt like if I didn't vote for Biden because what he said, like if you don't vote for the Democratic Party, you ain't Black. Like I don't want to vote for somebody who says shit like that. But it's like if I go for the other party, I don't agree with the other party either. So on a high level, I believe like both of these parties are like wings of the same bird. But I can also like read behind what the person is doing. Say Stacey Abrams, for example, she has at least plans that I can go read about and stuff like that. But like to think that Black men are out here like voting for Trump just because they feel like he will give them more control over Black women is sick to me. Like thinking about that, like I feel like if you're gonna vote for somebody, don't vote for them because of malicious reasons. Like actually read their policies and understand what they're about and vote for them. But to think that like people just want to vote for the Republican Party because they want to take reproductive freedom away from women, I feel like that's just so sick to me. And it's sad. Like at the gate, they don't really vote by the numbers. So to think that when it comes time for them to get together and congregate, they're congregating about like not voting for someone just because they are a Black woman or voting for someone just because they can help take away other people's rights. Like it's just like I know I keep repeating myself, but it's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, actually. I mean, I would say they're the same. They're the two sides of the same coin. So, period. Bianca, welcome. The internet is. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I can't see you now.
Oh, let's try to get.
There you go.
All right, let's try to get through this quickly. Am I here? I don't know if can you guys see me?
Yes.
Oh.
Use in and out.
Oh, I'm seeing myself on the phone. All right, let's do 1 minute. Go ahead. Thank you, Helena.
Thank you.
Did I say welcome, Bianca? Abortion rights, gay rights, workers' rights, immigration, primitive war, racial justice, economic justice, and environmental part plays a big part in voting for the Dems. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're. But sorry. Let's go. Thank you. By the way, Joe. Was it Joey? I forgot. I think Joey. Thank you so much. Me, not me.
Oh, hey. I have far too much to say for just 1 minute, so I'm just gonna say a quick hello. And points that I wanted to make were really sort of back when she was talking a little bit about COVID and medicine and wearing masks and all those sorts of things. Because I did have a little bit of pushback for that, having worked in medicine for over 14 years. And so I just want to, I guess, then make a general statement, for everyone's consideration, that doctors and nurses, particularly those that have been working in OR and surgery, have always worn masks for hours and hours every day, sometimes over 12 hours, in a day, as I did myself. And there was never any type of an issue, and there hasn't been, there still isn't, with health concerns from doctors and nurses wearing masks all day. Granted, you're not outside running errands, jogging in the heat and doing all sorts of other things, but just wearing a mask all day in itself is not something that has been determined to be medically harmful. So I'll just leave it with that little bit, and I'll talk another time about some other things.
Thank you so much. By the way, I'm only doing lives on Friday. So just let you know.
And he's gone. Okay.
Me, not me. Thank you so much for doing that, because that was bothering me so much. It was like the misinformation. Like, I don't want to tell somebody their experience isn't real, but I just feel like there had to be something else there, because it's not the mask.
Agreed. And also with the, and everyone's hospital is different. Sometimes you aren't going to get the same cases. So someone, one hospital might have an overwhelming caseload and the others have none. That is not abnormal. So, to work in the industry and not see that as an obvious sort of thing that happens in the industry is just a little bit concerning for me.
I agree with that too. When COVID came about, I was already managing a huge dialysis clinic in Texas where we wear PPE anyway. We wear face shields anyway. We wear masks anyway, working 12 to 16-hour shifts because of the way dialysis works. And so that is extremely troubling because unless you've experienced it personally, and granted, there were a lot of people who were not affected, whose families may not have been affected, but there were way too many cases of having people die alone in the ICU. Nurses, I have lots of nurse friends who were working ICUs, who were traveling during that time. And then I'm taking care of my ESRD patients. So
same.
Yeah.
I think we
Themis is gone.
Yeah, I think he's just coming in and out. Coming in and out.
I'm sure if he was here, he would say he appreciates both of you for putting that information out there.
Yes.
Within the field as well.
Okay. Well, good night. I'm gonna log off.
Okay. And then I think there was one more person that I can't see the names, but if you want to take your minute, maybe Themis will be back.
Are you referring to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Okay. So,
sorry,
first
I can't see your name.
Gee, I'm sorry?
Oh, I said I'm sorry, I can't see your name, but yes.
Oh, you can't see the name? It's Black Bar None. Can't see it? Okay, cool beans. So first and foremost, I'm going to apologize in advance. I've been drinking a little. I just came from seeing Black Panther, and I was in a festive mood. So if I am a little slurry, that's the reason why. Although I got to say, I was a little disappointed, but see the movie for yourself, judge for yourself. Everybody will have their own opinion. I'm going to make this really quick. I have a couple of bulletin points that I did kind of map out as I've been listening to the conversation. And just to kind of start from scratch, I just want to say that to touch on a couple of things that he mentioned before earlier in the live, as far as, our perspective, I think the first point is that our community, first and foremost, we use religion kind of as a crutch. It's become a delusional fantasy at this point. And it's indoctrination at its finest, I guess, which kind of makes sense given where we've come from. When you're a hopelessly oppressed class, you're going to grasp onto anything that you can to kind of make it through. So in that sense, I kind of understand it. But at this point, the dynamics of our situation have changed within the society. And I think it's time for us to evolve. Second, as far as reparations is concerned, I think it would really be a waste of time and energy. I mean, we're not geopolitically, socially, or economically, not to mention mentally, at a place where we could receive it and actually do something effective and efficient with it. And frankly, I'm surprised that whiteness hasn't really grasped onto this, because if they were smart, they would give us the reparations, knowing that it essentially would be reabsorbed back into their stockpile. So the fact that they haven't kind of leaves me scratching my head. But the overall consensus, in my opinion, is that we just aren't ready for it. Third, as far as a previous discussion that was had, I believe, with one of the other YouTubers that she mentioned, patriarchy. I think it was Erica De Niro a couple of days ago. I just wanted to say I've been holding on to this comment for a minute. Spot on. She had her analysis was dead on as far as males not being natural protectors, and that includes whiteness. I mean, they protect property, not the altruistic sense of protection as it refers to femaleness in its purest form. So I just had to drop that. And fourth, as far as I want to speak politically for a second. We have to understand that within this particular society and our dynamics, American Black women are the most educated and economically most socially mobile group, perhaps within the entire diaspora. So if we really want to make progress, we need to start politically playing the game. And to that, I mean using the means that are at our disposal, particularly with super PACs and other readily available political vehicles that allow essentially whiteness and essentially the main powers of whiteness that be to essentially get their agendas heard, right? So if we really want to start taking charge of our position and have our agendas and our concerns heard, that's what we really have to start doing. We have to start playing the game. Frankly, I believe that Stacey lost because she didn't play the game the right way. Had she chose to really focus on the dynamics of Georgia as far as the gender dynamics, I think she could have had a significant chance of winning. I don't know if you know, but Georgia's 51% female. 33% of that female demographic is Black. Where she critically made a misstep was by trying to pander to Black males. Had she stuck with topics that are critical and important to the females within this demographic, I think she actually could have won. But see, this is the problem when you try to engage a socially inept group or class of people. You end up getting that apathy, which ends up really devastatingly impacting you politically. And this is why Stacey lost. I mean, she had a bigger turnout 2 years ago than she did this year. And frankly, it's because her misstep was choosing to pander to maleness instead of sticking with her main base, which was Black females. And as a citizen, I wouldn't say, well, I'm a citizen of America, but as a person who actually lives in Georgia, I think that's where she made her critical misstep. What are you saying, Themis?
Excuse me. Themis's line is a little messed up. I didn't mean to cut you mid-sentence. I apologize for that. But we are trying to wrap up since there's technology issues.
Yeah, technology. I get it.
Sorry. So if you could try to wrap up within a minute.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the last point I was going to say as far as Stacey. And again, history is proving itself to be repetitive. If any of you remember, Shirley Chisholm was our first presidential female African-American candidate, right? Back in 1972. And the reason why she didn't win overwhelmingly was because she didn't have the Black male support. So again, until Black women realize that you essentially are on your own and you really have to take the reins and start to dictate and command the terms of your predicament and how you want your situation to change and leave Black males by the wayside, things will not get better in this here society. That's all I have to say.
Okay, on comment.
I heard that from my phone. Can you guys hear? Am I breaking up?
Oh,
no, you're good now.
I'm using my phone internet.
Okay.
There is a rain happening and my place was flooded yesterday. Just putting that out there, and I had to call a bunch of people to fix it. So I think there's some issues still happening. Hopefully nothing too terrible was messed up. But if you can me now, I think I have to. end shortly because I don't know what's wrong for all coming. So appreciate that. I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay. I said everything I needed to say. Black ladies, look, I'm going to end with this just really quickly, 10 seconds. You know, at the end of the day, we have a potential to become a real significant power base within this society. You know, whiteness has shown a willingness to work with us economically because we are the safer bet. We need to take advantage of that. We are the most mobile economically. We are the most educated. We have to realize our worth and save ourselves if we are to save our future. That's all
I'm
I have
back.
to say.
I'm
Oh,
on
he's
the
back.
screen. I'm on the screen.
Okay.
I agreed with what you said to the extent I heard it. I don't know how long this is going to be back. While it is, let me say thank you, everyone, for being here and helping me. And LB, thank you for coordinating while I was gone.
No problem.
The washer broke. It wasn't rain outside. It was the washer inside. So that's that's what happened. But now it's storming, and I am
disappearing.
Yeah, he's gone again. Okay.
Wait, I'm gone.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
Yay.
Okay.
All right. I'm done. Thank you all so much. I wish I could just leave LB in charge, but I don't know. No, yeah. Oh, Stan asked if I'm assuming this is Stan. Are you okay? Yeah. We called people out here to fix it last night, and everything is fixed. We're gonna remove one of the walls. That's the only thing left, but I can live with that until Monday, when they come back to remove it. So everything is good. They quickly came and fixed it. So like we're good, but we're having internet issues. I thought I could do it tonight, but whatever. Bye everyone. I'm gonna end now.
Have a good evening.
No,
Thank
okay.
you.
Bye, Themis.